Hello everyone, hope we're doing well. Welcome back to our League of Legends LCS breakdown video. If you guys have not been a part of this series over the past 8 weeks, well, welcome. I hope you guys all enjoy this video a bit differently. Usually when I do this, a weekly breakdown of the past weekend of the LCS, I pretty much go through, I show you guys the top plays, the top teams, what teams do right, what teams do wrong. But this week is a bit different. As we approach our last week, that being week 9, we've now solidified 4 of our playoff teams, and the rest of the pack, well, almost the rest of the pack besides 100Thieves, we'll talk about them in a second. They fight off for those last 2 spots. I'm going to give you guys my predictions, my quick thoughts, and we'll break it down. If you guys enjoy it, leave a like or a comment down below. I love reading comments and what you guys think of the LCS split so far. Let me make my first point. I think so far of our top 4 teams, they are by far and away our top 4 teams, and the gap between each of these teams is pretty significant in my mind. You take a Liquid, they are certainly our best NA team. Cloud9 soon to follow, I would say. TSM as well. The drop off after 1, 2, 3, in my opinion, seems to be quite significant, but I still think FlyQuest is for sure our 4th best. And when it comes to these last few teams competing for our last 2 spots, I think the drop off is pretty vast, and come playoff time, these will likely be the heavy underdogs. So it's good to see our 4 top teams being our 4 top teams, but that leaves us with 5 to 6 teams competing for 2 spots, and it's going to be pretty crazy because the 3 to 4 teams I consider to actually have a chance are all within 1 game of each other. So yes, another preface, these are my thoughts. Okay, my thoughts can be crazy, they can be stupid as well. You guys can leave your comments down below. But first off, 100Thieves this past weekend to me looked like one of the most unmotivated teams I have ever seen, especially throughout the split so far. Absolutely defeated. They are now out of the playoff race, I'm sure many of you guys are now well aware of. And this roster, I really do hope actually steps it up. Of course, for our next split, a lot to look forward to for this team if they can get something fixed. I think there are an immense amount of problems. We've seen many of their guys as well as other people talk about these issues so far, because it's not just one issue, not just 1, 2, or 3 issues. It seems to be a whole slew of issues out there as to what's going on, not just gameplay, not just strategy, not just player-wise. It seems to be all in all a general problem with 100Thieves, and definitely not what I expected, not what probably a lot of you guys expected so far. And this past weekend certainly even showcased that, I would say, even further. I would expect even, I would dare say, more roster changes, or even hope so. They try some new things out. Soligo only had 2 weeks of the roster so far, if that, and of course his first appearances on the main stage. I like to say I'm excited for his promise. Will they keep him? We have no idea. That team, though, to me was definitely worth noting as just an overall disappointment this split, as they are now out of playoff contention. And then we got Clutch and Optic, these 2 teams who certainly had opportunities to actually bounce their way back into playoffs. We've been pretty lucky so far for these middle pack teams, which is the majority of the teams out there, to actually have a chance to still make playoffs. Clutch and Optic both go 0-2. Now I will say both of them had fair chances to actually come away with a win. I think Optic versus CLG certainly had a chance. This team still continues to actually have strong starts. The mid to late game Optic, we see those serious struggles, but when it comes to, I guess I could say, Clutch versus Golden Guardians, that game, though, it was pretty well in demand for Golden Guardians the entire time, although seemingly pretty close. I guess you could say gold-wise until pretty late there. I think they were in pretty much control, but you could say there was a peak of hope there for Clutch, who can not just, if there was a motion I could actually put towards Clutch right now, it's the finish. They can't push through and actually finish a game if finishing a game started mid to late game. Similar struggles to Optic, I would say, but even more so, Clutch can't even start the game off in a lead as well. Both those teams pretty much throw away their playoff hopes this past weekend. Although they still have chances, they are not likely the teams I will be choosing, and here's why. Golden Guardians has become pretty much a write-off for that 5th place spot. They are 1 game ahead of at least everyone, 2 games ahead if you count Clutch. I'm throwing Clutch out of the door, guys. You look at their matchups so far, they have yet to actually prove to me a miracle legitimate chance to actually make it. If the miracle does come true, that's being Clutch Gaming, but 5-11 currently. Because they're so far behind game-wise, they need a legitimate miracle to go through, and for that reason, I'm going to throw them out of the race. Along with that, though, you look at a Golden Guardians, I'm going to write them in because they have that 7-game, that 1-game lead. They need 1 win this past week, or this upcoming weekend, guys, and I think they will get it. They do play FlyQuest, but they also play Optic Gaming, who they have beaten before. They need to win just one of those matchups. If even that, they can actually get pretty lucky, I think, and have a tiebreaker if need be. I really do think Golden Guardians sneaks away, although in my personal opinion, if they had 6 wins right now, I likely would not be choosing them because they also have had some pretty shaky weekends, along with a lot of this pack out there. And with that being said, who will be my second team through prediction-wise? It's going to be based off these matchups, right? Optic versus Golden Guardians means one of those teams will be guaranteed a victory. I'm going to go ahead and pick Golden Guardians to win that. If Optic win that, then it pretty much throws everything up into a whirl of what's going to happen. So we'll see what what happens there, but that's a guaranteed victory for either one of those two teams. But I think it's going to come down to Echo Fox and CLG. CLG was a team I was actually pretty strong at the start of the split, a team I thought was going to carry it around, but definitely through those middle weeks. And then I guess you could say for all these teams, like I said previously, I've certainly struggled with consistency in their gameplay. Echo Fox coming off a week high though, their first 2-0 weekends, the entire split, wins against Cloud9 and 100Thieves, which I still do think is all too impressive. Although Cloud9, yes, they throw that mid game very, very hard. You see a team take advantage of that. Echo Fox coming off a momentous weekend. I do think the winner of that game, Echo Fox CLG, can wrap it up and actually take that second place into playoffs, or I guess you could say that 6th place into playoffs. So for me personally, guys, you're going to have our top 4 teams, Liquid, Cloud9, TSM. Alongside them, though, FlyQuest, Golden Guardians, and it's going to come down to the winner of Echo Fox and CLG is my opinion. I cannot wait to break it down, though. Of course, after next week, week number 9, we're going to have our full final list of playoff teams, and then I'll predict playoffs for all of you. We've seen a tumultuous start throughout the split, tumultuous run throughout the split for many of these teams out there. I'm going to save my worries for MSI and Rift Rivals for another time out there, but as always, my name is Jake. I hope you guys all enjoy. If you have predictions, leave them down below. I'm very curious what you guys think is going to happen. I think all of these teams do have a chance besides Clutch, and well, 100Thieves doesn't have a chance either way, but give me your opinions down below, and as always, I'll see y'all next time. Until then, take care.